Sadguru, a guiding light for millions around the world. Revered elders, dear brothers and sisters, Saram to all on this blessed evening of day 3, Gita, Sara, Sarita. Sri Krishna mentions many a times that no being born in this earth can escape actions or karma. Even sleeping and blinking are considered as karma. When this is the case, it is our responsibility to perform our actions with the right attitude and with the right knowledge of why an action is being performed. Sri Krishna says, Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitra meha vidyate tat swayam yoga samsiddhaha kale natmani vindati. In this world, there is nothing as purifying as divine knowledge. One who has attained purity of mind through prolonged practice of yoga receives such knowledge within the heart in due course of time. Chapter 4 of the Bhagavad Gita, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, elaborates on the idea that one must detach oneself from the actions with the help of knowledge. This chapter is a blend of Jnana Marga and Karma Marga as the two sides of the same coin. Both the paths are practiced hand in hand with equanimity gained from Jnana Marga and selflessness gained from Karma Marga. This morning, as we learnt and discussed the teachings of this chapter, we could easily relate the teachings to our own experiences in this mission. Swami has designed such a beautiful structure where all our karma is in the form of seva with the knowledge that none of the seva is possible without the grace of God. It is when we have this knowledge that we stop expecting the fruits of action and still perform our actions to our highest potential. We will now have the chanting of the important verses from chapter 4.
Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha Atha Chaturthodhyayaha Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yogaha. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavanaham Avyayam Vivasvan Manave Praha Manurikshvakave Bravit. Sa evayam maya tedya Yogaf proktaf puratanaha Bhaktosi me sakha cheti Rahasyam hyetaduttamam. Arjuna uvacha Aparam bhavato janma Paranjanma vivasvataha Kathame tadvijaniyam Tvamadau proktavaniti. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Bahuni me vyatitani Janmani tava charjuna Tanyaham veda sarvani Natvam vetha parantapa. Ajopi sannavyayatma Bhutanamishvaropi san Prakritim svamadhishthaya Sambhavamyatma mayaya. Yada yada hi dharmasya Glanirbhavati bharata Abhyutthanam Tadatmanam srijamyaham. Paritranaya sadhunam Vinashaya cha dushkritam Dharma samsthapanarthaya Sambhavami yuge yuge. जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम् एवं यो वेत्ति तत्त्वतः त्यक्त्वा देहं पुनर्जन्म नैति मामेति सोऽर्जुन। वीतरागभयक्रोधा मन्मया मामुपाश्रिताः बहवो ज्ञानतपसा पूता मद्भावमागताः। ये यथा मां प्रपद्यन्ते तांस्तथैव भजाम्यहम् मम वर्त्मानुवर्तन्ते मनुष्याः पार्थ सर्वशः। चातुर्वर्ण्यं मया सृष्टं गुणकर्मविभागशः तस्य कर्तारमपि मां विद्यकर्तारमव्ययम्। न मां कर्माणि लिम्पन्ति न मे कर्मफले स्पृहा इति मां योऽभिजानाति कर्मभिर्न स बध्यते। किं कर्म किमकर्मेति कवयोऽप्यत्र मोहिताः तत्ते कर्म प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वा मोक्ष्यसे शुभात्। कर्मणो ह्यपि बोद्धव्यं बोद्धव्यं च विकर्मणः अकर्मणश्च बोद्धव्यं गहना कर्मणो गतिः। कर्मण्यकर्म यः पश्येत् अकर्मणि च कर्म यः स बुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु स युक्तः कृत्स्नकर्मकृत्। यस्य सर्वे समारम्भाः कामसङ्कल्पवर्जिताः ज्ञानाग्निदग्धकर्माणं तमाहुः पण्डितं बुधाः। त्यक्त्वा कर्मफलासङ्गं नित्यतृप्तो निराश्रयः कर्मण्यभिप्रवृत्तोऽपि नैव किञ्चित् करोति सः। ब्रह्मार्पणं ब्रह्महविः ब्रह्माग्नौ ब्रह्मणाहुतं ब्रह्मैव तेन गन्तव्यं ब्रह्मकर्म समाधिना। द्रव्ययज्ञास्तपोयज्ञा योगयज्ञास्तथा परे स्वाध्यायज्ञानयज्ञाश्च यतयः संशितव्रताः। श्रेयान् द्रव्यमयाद्यज्ञात् ज्ञानयज्ञः परन्तपा सर्वं कर्माखिलं पार्थ ज्ञाने परिसमाप्यते। तद्विद्धि प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदेक्ष्यन्ति ते ज्ञानं ज्ञानिनस्तत्त्वदर्शिनः। अपि चेदसि पापेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः पापकृत्तमः सर्वं ज्ञानप्लवेनैव वृजिनं सन्तरिष्यसि। न हि ज्ञानेन सदृशं पवित्रमिह विद्यते तत्स्वयं योगसंसिद्धः कालेनात्मनि विन्दति। श्रद्धावान् लभते ज्ञानं तत्परः संयतेन्द्रियः ज्ञानं लब्ध्वा परां शान्तिम् अचिरेणाधिगच्छति। अज्ञश्चाश्रद्दधानश्च संशयात्मा विनश्यति नायं लोकोऽस्ति न परो न सुखं संशयात्मनः। तस्मादज्ञानसम्भूतं हृत्स्थं ज्ञानासिनात्मनः छित्त्वैनं संशयं योगम् आतिष्ठोत्तिष्ठ भारत। ॐ तत्सत् इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे ज्ञानकर्मसन्न्यासयोगो नाम चतुर्थोऽध्यायः। श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु।
May we now request Sri B.N. Narasimhamurthy, Chancellor, Sri Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence, to address all of us.
Loving pranams at the feet of Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai, who has been interpreting Bhagavad Gita in a way which is most relevant for modern times and to every one of us, to every one in the world. Padma Shri Dr. V.R. Gauri Shankarji, brothers and sisters and very dear students, boys and girls. We are very, very happy to welcome in our midst Padma Shri Dr. V.R. Gauri Shankar, CEO of Sringeri Mat Sringeri Samsthanam. He has been instrumental in bringing Sringeri Samsthanam and our institutions led by Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai together. Also, if you look into the development that has happened in Sringeri and in many parts of the world related to Sringeri Samsthanam, I can without any hesitation, say that Dr. V.R. Gauri Shankar, with the active encouragement of Swamiji Bharati Tirtha Swamiji, has played a major role. You find the activities of Sringeri Samsthanam in many countries for which Dr. V.R. Gauri Shankar is solely responsible. Once again, I welcome him. Yesterday, Sadguru in his discourse emphasized on faith and belief in two fundamental laws which govern life, human life. Of course, the life of all beings also. The law of karma and the law of punarjanma. Without faith in these two, laws, fundamental laws, it will be almost impossible to understand the true purport of the Bhagavad Gita. In fact, in the 4th chapter, at the very beginning, Lord Krishna reminds Arjuna of this law of Punarjanma. After having taught the secret of Karma Yoga, which is, in the words of Sadguru, complete selflessness, at the beginning of the 4th chapter, Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, this imperishable yoga, imam vivasvate yogam proktavan aham avyayam. This imperishable yoga of Karma Yoga, I taught first to Vivaswan, means sun god. And sun god taught it to Manu, and later on Manu taught it to Ikshvaku. But it so happened, with so much of lapse of time, now it is lost. Therefore now I again I have taught you this secret of Karma Yoga. You are my true devotee. You are my true friend. Therefore I chose to teach you this Karma Yoga. Naturally, Arjuna is bemused. At the same time, he believed what Lord Krishna said, because as professed by himself in the 1st chapter, he said, I am your disciple, I don't know how to go about, and you are my guru, guide me. Therefore, he says, I believe it, but he asks a question. He does not say, ask the question, how do I believe it? He says, sun god was born millions of years ago, and you are elder to me by 3 or 4 years. How do you claim that you taught it to sun god? Straight away he asked the question. He did not say, I don't believe it. He says, Katam etat vijaniyam. How do I understand? He doesn't say, how do I believe? How do I understand that you taught it? He believes it, but he wants to know, what is the secret? How could it happen? See, that is why Sadguru said yesterday, belief and understanding of law of Punarjanma is very crucial to understand the message of the Bhagavad Gita. So this is where Lord Krishna points out to Arjuna, even in those days, Dwapara Yuga, there were people who did not believe. He points out and says, Bahuni me vetitani janmani tavacha Arjuna. Many times I have come into this world, and you have also come into this world. Bahuni me vetitani. Many lives we have spent on this earth, you and I. Tanyaham veda sarvani, nattam veta parantapa. I know all of them, but you don't know. See, this is the same relationships you find today also. Sadguru knows about our past, present, and future. We don't know about our present also properly, forget about the future. Therefore, sometimes there is a dichotomy. See, that is how he points out. Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, you were born many times, I am also born many times. And now, in modern times, with progress of science, psychology has graduated into parapsychology. Exactly 100 years ago, there was a person by name Edgar Cayce in America who was known to be the sleeping prophet of America. One day it so happened that in a state of self-hypnosis, he saw the previous life of himself. And later on, when many people came to him for cure of incurable diseases, in the same process, he could trace the cause of this present ailment in this life is there in some time back in previous life of the person. He went on revealing those previous lives to others also. For example, suddenly a professor in America became blind. And the ophthalmologist said nothing can be done about it. We don't know why it has happened. And there is no cure for this. And he came to Edgar Cayce because by that time his fame had spread. And Edgar Cayce, again in a state of self-hypnosis, he told him, the cause for this is, in one of your previous lives, you were a Roman soldier. And you plucked out the eyes of the enemy soldiers who were in the prison. Suppose you had done it as a matter of your duty, it would not, no sin would have accrued to you. But you enjoyed doing it. Therefore, that is the reason you have become blind. Many such. In fact, in Edgar Cayce Institute, there are 3,000 life readings of these 3,000 previous lives. So this led to a lot of research and what we call regression and things like that. And finally, today parapsychology has established that there were previous lives. And naturally, there are future lives. There are three books I would suggest to especially our students about Edgar Cayce. Dr. Gina Serminara, who was one of the very ardent devotees of Bhagavan Sri Sathya Baba, presented a book called Many Mansions at the Feet of Baba. And in that, she elaborates on the life of Edgar Cayce and his findings about previous lives and things like that. And there is a book, Life After Life, by Helen Wambach, and Life Before Life by Dr. Raymond Moody. These are three books which establish without any doubt, without an iota of doubt, that this law of Punarjanma, law of karma, is like the Newton's laws of motion. And therefore, here as Krishna points out to Arjuna, it is essential that we understand because we have not come into this world for the first time. Many times we have come and we did not achieve the purpose of the human birth which was gifted to us by the Lord. Therefore, we are again born. Therefore, the greatest good fortune that can happen to any person is to meet a Sadguru who has realized himself. There is nothing higher than that. After that, all that you have to do is just obey his commands. Surrender yourself and do what he asks you to do, and you are through this cycle of birth and death. Imagine our great good fortune that Sadguru decided to have this Paravidya camp for almost a month and dilate upon again Bhagavad Gita, the fundamental truths of Bhagavad Gita, and more importantly, answer our questions. With these words, I conclude and pray to Sadguru for his divine guidance on the Bhagavad Gita and also answer the questions raised by some of us. Thank you very much.
This very chapter, at the core of it, has a very powerful revelation of avatars. While our Narasimhamurti ji just now said, all are born again and again, Sri Krishna says, Bahuni me veditani janmani tavacha Arjuna. We both have come again and again. Because Sri Krishna and Arjuna, Naranarayana is what we have learnt earlier. They are the principles of Jivatma and Paramatma who incarnate again and again. But Arjuna's is a karma janma, or at best you can call as karana janma. Sri Krishna is not karma janma or karana janma. He is an avatar. What is the difference between an avatar and a karma janma or a karana janma? Karma janma, you know, Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatare shayanam. You do karmas, you have karma prabhavas, and to fulfill those karma prabhavas, we are born again and again. As Mundakopanishad said, kama virjayate tatra tatra. As per your previous life's desires, you are born again in families that suit you the best in order to fulfill and enjoy those desires which were not fulfilled in the previous lives. So is Sri Krishna also born to fulfill any desires? Were the karmas which brought him into the womb of Devaki? Or was it something beyond? Sri Krishna himself says, I am not born as per your karma law. I am beyond the karma. I incarnate, I manifest myself based on my own Maya Shakti. If you go back, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, Dvevava Brahmano Rupe. Sat cha asat cha. There are two kinds of Brahman. Now, we all know Brahman is only one. But he says two kinds, in the sense just to explain to us, not because everything is Brahman, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma, everything is Brahman, but that Nirakara Nirguna Brahman also takes Sakara Saguna Swarupa, takes a form with attributes and things like that. And that is why avatars happen. They come for what purpose? Sri Krishna himself says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirvavati bharata abhyuttanam dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. I create myself. I manifest myself by my own willpower, not by any other karma or by any biological process. It is my will to manifest. But for what purpose? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirvavati bharata. Whenever dharma is on decline, when we forget to practice dharma, as we have learned, whole essence of Bhagavad Gita is dharma. Kshetre kshetre dharmam kuru. That is what I said from the first and the last sloka, if you pull out these words. When we forget to do our dharma, that's when a teacher, a master, an avatar has to come to teach us how to perform our dharma in this world. And Sri Krishna is just one example. Many avatars have happened. Sri Rama has happened. And above the auditorium, you have plenty of avatars. The photos are there. We are all, in a way, avatars, but we do not know that we are avatars. Sri Krishna knows he is an avatar. We are all manifestation of divinity only, but we are covered by ignorance. The ajnana does not allow us to know that we also are as divine as Sri Krishna. But Sri Krishna knows that he is divine, therefore he is free from karma and karma janmas. Arjuna is not. That's why he says very clearly to Sri Arjuna also. What does he say? Janma karma cha me divyam. My life and my works are all divine. It is not to be compared like with others who are doing work in the world. I manifest by my own will and my life is divine. My actions are divine. And because my actions and my entire life is divine, there is no karma phala for me, karma prabhava. I am beyond that. I am not being born like you. I am being born for a purpose which is to establish dharma, to protect the virtuous, to correct the wrongdoers, to bring dharma into the world. I keep manifesting myself again and again, he says. Sambhavami yuge yuge, not just once, many times I have come. So that explains why Krishna comes many times. And also Arjuna comes many times. Arjuna comes because of karma prabhavas. Sri Krishna comes because of dharma stapana. So this is another fundamental truth that we must know, because no other religion talks of avatars. They all talk of masters. Even like he was mentioning Edgar Casey, he also has written a book, Many Lives, Many Masters. And he talks about many masters that you come across in your previous lives and now. And that has a little Western spin to it. Most of the masters' names and whatever there, you will not find Vasishta, Vishwamitra or things like that. You will find some other alpha and things like that. Because that has a twist of how he has come, how he has approached the subject in his own language and terminology. But he also talks about masters. But our scripture, Sanathana Dharma, talks about avatar. When the Nirguna Nirakara Brahma takes the Saguna Sakara Rupa, it becomes an avatar. And that avatar is what we are blessed to have in the form of Sri Krishna, who is the Jagadguru in this case. He has taken upon himself the responsibility of teaching the truth. But why was this truth lost for so many years? Because there was no parampara. He says because of the loss of parampara, this knowledge has been lost. And that is why I am very fond of Adi Shankaracharya and all that he has done in order to continue the parampara. And as in Sringeri's Mahasamsthanam, the parampara continues. Avichinna parampara, unbroken lineage of gurus is there. The Sringeri Sharada Peetham is the only Peetham in the whole of the universe, I would say, which has never broken the parampara of Guru. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. That Guru Parampara has never been broken in Sringeri Sharda Peetham. That is why it is special. It's 1200 years. And this parampara has not been broken. I was told Chandramaulishwara Puja, every evening it is performed. It's being performed every day. Never it has happened that the Jagat Guru of Sringeri Peetham has skipped the puja for whatever reasons. So many invasions, so many attacks, so many disturbances to the country. We know that. We have a millennia of all kinds of things. But throughout this millennium, our Sringeri Sharada Peetham kept up the Guru Parampara so that the knowledge is not lost to humanity. That is why even Sri Krishna says, because of the Parampara being broken from Vaivasvata or Manu to the down to Ikshvaku, and then it was lost, he says, because nobody else was fit enough to carry forward this Parampara. And this is where the contribution of Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya comes, who took upon himself to revive Sanatana Dharma, to establish this Dharma in all parts of the world. So Bhagavan Adi Shankara is an avatar. Sambhavami yuge yuge, for what purpose? Dharma samsthapana arthaya. Did Bhagavan Adi Shankara establish Dharma? He did. He went around the country, established matas, trained the disciples, passed on this parampara. So he is an avatari Purusha. So like that, many avatars have happened. Some are documented, some go undocumented. Some are very popular, some are unknown to the public. But many avatars, this Bharata Punya Bhumi is the mother who has given birth to many avatars over many, many years, many millennia. So this is the beauty of our Samskruti, our Sanatana Dharma. And in this parampara, Sri Krishna is teaching this knowledge to Arjuna in Dwapara Yuga, that was then. And he tells very clearly that I also manifest only to establish Dharma, to teach you how to do your duty right. Right now we are all discussing Karma Yoga, now Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, and next we'll come to Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Somebody will ask, what is this chronology? Karma Yoga, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, then Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Why Karma Sannyasa Yoga should not come first and then Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga should come? Because Sri Krishna is a very good teacher. First he teaches you Karma Yoga, which is what I told yesterday. Perform your duty selflessly to the best of your ability. That is Karma Yoga. Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga is the knowledge of who is the doer in the first place and who is the enjoyer of the action. While the Jiva thinks it is the doer. But the truth is that everything is done by the divine only. Without divine power, we cannot do anything. Na pranena, na panena, martyo jivati kaschana, itarena tu jivanti yasmin etau upashritau, says Kathopanishad. Not by prana apana, means but not by breathing or eating or all biological and physiological process we live. Because we are able to live, so all these processes happen. And who is making all this happen within us? That Brahman, that divine power, that consciousness. Prajnanam Brahma, I said, that consciousness makes everything happen. So that is the Nirguda Nirakara Brahma, consciousness. However, the same consciousness manifests as Saguna Sakara in Sri Krishna's form. It has come and he is teaching this truth to Arjuna. Another very important thing that I would like to think about this is that he also talks about, this is a very controversial subject. Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagashaha tasya kartaram vimam vidya akartaram avyayam, he says. I am the one who has classified the society or who has brought about this division of labor according to the interests and aptitudes of the people. It is not to do with where you were born, though eventually that became the norm. You were born to a father who was born to another man, or a father who was of certain Gotra, Kula, Dharma and Varna. Accordingly, you continued your traditions and things like that. But now you know that we are not born in any family just like that. It's not an act which happens randomly. It happens because of karmas. And that karma brings us to the next womb, next family, where our karmas can continue. So if you were a Kshatriya by your karma before, it's very possible that you will be born in a Kshatriya kulam, because that is the best suited environment for you to continue your ideas and desires. If you are born in a Brahmana kula, then it will become a difficulty, because you cannot do that. You cannot go on fighting wars. They by nature are supposed to be seekers of knowledge, not seekers of power. So this idea of Varnashrama Dharma, Sri Krishna says very clearly, I have only given it to the world. I have given means not that in Dwapara Yuga he wrote a book and wrote the code of conduct. It is a tradition that is being followed from ancient times. Who is the creator of it? The Brahman himself, the Prajapati. After Brahman, Brahma, Prajapati. And that's how the Vedas came, and that is there in previous chapter also. And all these laws were formed. So he says, I am the creator of it, yet I am not the doer. Because in this place he says, no, what is karma, what is akarma, and what is vikarma. He says, the one who says action in inaction, and inaction in action, such a person is Pandita. So Sri Krishna says, I have only created these 4 classifications, but I am not really the doer. It happens as per the divine law. So this is the divine law. But now this has been made into a lot of controversy over a period of time. In fact, Sri Adi Shankara Bhagavan was the one who saw so much of superstition, so much of, what you call suppression, and so much of wrong happening in the name of dharma. That is when he brought saying, Jnana is the only way out of this. It's all ajnana only, but jnanam is the only way out of all the mess that is happening in the world. And that's how he proposed Advaita philosophy. Before that there was Vishishta Advaita, there was Dvaita philosophy, there were, all these were there, but Adi Shankaracharya's credit that Advaita philosophy, that, what is that? Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya, Jivo Brahmaiva, Naparaha. So Jiva is Brahman only, he says, but the Jiva who does not know is Brahman yet has to work his way to understand his Brahman, then he is redeemed. So that process is sadhana. That sadhana margam, Sri Adi Shankaracharya has taught it. There is Jnana Marga, Bhakti Marga, Karma Marga. Right now we are discussing about Karma Marga, but Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, do karma with the knowledge of why you are doing it in the first place. For what sake are you doing it? Who is the doer and who is the enjoyer at the end? Brahmarpadam, Brahmahavi, Brahmagnau, Brahmanahutam, Brahmaivatena Gantavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhina. Everything is Brahman only. Think like that and do. I am the doer. If you think, then the ego comes. The moment ahankara comes, all karma prabhava gets attached to it. So multiply anything with 0, what is be the result? 0. If you have no ego, which is 0, any amount of action you do in the world, there are no results out of that action. This 0 is the idea of knowing that you are not Jiva, but you are Brahma. Jiva Brahmaiva Naparaha. When you know that you are Brahman, then all your actions that you do through the body, mind, intellect, and all the faculty, it is just happening through you. You are not the doer. So ahankara doesn't come. When ahankara is not there, anything multiplied by 0 is 0. So mamakara also does not come. The ahankara, mamakara is the avarana or the mala or whatever vikshepa, whichever way you present it, that is the one which stops us from knowing that we are divine. So selfless work is the way. Sri Adi Shankaracharya again to our rescue. Vedanta Dindima. Karmani Chitya Shuddhyartam Ekagrartham Upasana Mokshartham Brahma Vidyayam Iti Vedanta Dindimaha, he says. All the actions are to become pure, purify our mind. Selfishness is the impurity, selflessness is the purity. So do everything in this world like Bhagavan Sri Krishna does, for the sake of Loka Sangraha, for the sake of the welfare of all. No personal interest, no personal agenda. Only for the benefit of all that Bhagavan acts in this world. So also we should act like that. That is what Sri Krishna is teaching. But once you know that very doer of all the actions is Brahman only, Brahmarpadam, Brahma, that concept, then you have no ego. Because you have no ego, there is no karma attaching to you. Because no karma is attaching to you, no karma prabhava also comes to you. So the greatest of sinners also redeemed if they come to understand this, that ultimately everything is divinely driven only. This is nothing of their own. The only thing that happens is that you cannot enjoy all your achievements and take credit for it. You can't go around boasting, I did it, I did it, I did it. But the downside is also good. When things don't go the way you want, you also can escape the concept that the guilt and the sadness that I could not do it. So I was telling the other day, spirituality is a very, a very strange thing, It does not allow you to get excited, which everybody wants to be, right? Everybody wants to wake up and say, I did this and I achieved this. I want to feel good about it. But the other downside is also there. One day you will feel good, the other day you will feel bad because something will not go as per your plans. Then doership will kill you with guilt of failure. So it does not allow you to get excited on one side, but on the other side does not even allow you to get depressed. But people choose to get excited and want depression. That is not possible. Either you accept both or you accept none. This is the only way to deal in this world. So Sri Krishna is teaching, accept none. The one who has nirmamo nirashi, the one who becomes completely desireless, such a person is free from all the karma. He doesn't have to think about action and reactions of it. So how does karma happen then? Karma happens through him as an instrument. He becomes an instrument of the divine. He's so pure and surrendered, no ego, no attachments. The divine chooses him as an instrument and he becomes a spontaneous expression of the divine will. Anything that he thinks, speaks, does is divinely ordained. It's used, the body is only being used, like the flute boy is there. He just plays the flute, he blows through the flute, music comes out on the other end. Can the flute ever think, I have brought this music forward? It cannot. Because flute is only an instrument, it does not have energy or power of its own to play music. Unless an instrumentalist, a flautist picks it up, it cannot produce any music. The only thing flute can do is to remain a good flute, a hollow flute without any obstructions. So all we can do is free of ego when we are like that hollow flute, and then Sri Krishna picks us up, uses us as his instrument and produces the music. So that is the Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Once you have the wisdom of who is the doer and who is the enjoyer, ego and attachments will vanish. With that, Karma Sannyasa Yoga becomes very easy. Karma Yoga, perfection in action, selfless action. Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, knowledge who is the doer and who is the enjoyer. Brahman only. With that knowledge, it's easy to become Karma Sannyasi. In the sense, you don't give up karma. You give up the desire for results. You give up the attachment to the karma. The doership itself will go away. The enjoyership itself will go away. That is what Ashtavakra says. Na kartasi na bhoktasi mukta evasi sarvada. You are neither the doer nor the enjoyer. You are always free, ever free. That concept comes and then you become a free. You do as many works that you want in this world. Be super busy, working day and night like Janaka. Yet nothing accrues to you. You are ever free. So this is the concept of Jivan Mukta. A Jivan Mukta is the one who is always engaged in action, yet ever free. This ever freedom comes from the idea of this knowledge that I am not the doer, I am not the enjoyer. Only one divine force makes everything happen. I am simply, as a jiva, I am an instrument through which all this divine energy and the will flows. That helps you not to get excited in successes and also helps you not to get depressed in failures. So samatvam yoga uchyate, that allows you to be equanimous. So now you know, if you want to be the equanimous Chitta Prajna of the second chapter and Karma Yogi of the third chapter, unless you are the Jnana Karma Sannyasi of the fourth chapter, it's not possible to be Chitta Prajna, it's not possible to be Karma Yogi. With Jnana alone can, that is why he says, Nahi Jnanena Sadrasham, Pavitram hi Vidyate. This knowledge is the supreme. There is nothing equal to this knowledge of divinity. This is to be attained. Attaining which, what happens? Param Shantim, highest peace comes to us, Achiredat Adhigacchati, immediately. Highest peace. Why? What is peace? Peace is a state of equanimity, no disturbance, no vikaras. When vikaras come, peace gets disturbed. Any disturbance of the mind destroys the peace. So good thoughts also destroy the peace. You see some kids will be excited. You cannot control their excitement. Are they at peace? No, they are not at peace. Then there are some kids who are depressed and angry and frustrated. That is also not peace. So neither positive emotions are peace nor negative emotions are peace. Zero emotions is peace actually. That emotion which does not change. So I always say, measure your spiritual progress by the peace that you experience in your life. And how soon, even if it gets disturbed, how soon can you get back to that zero state? That is the measure of your progress. Yesterday you took 1 month to get over your emotions. Now you are able to do it within a week. It means you are spiritually progressing. That is the one measure of your spiritual progress. How often, how soon, and how long can you be in that zero state of peace? So do all the actions, no problem, yet remain in the peace, remain that with the equanimity through the help of this knowledge that I am not the doer, I am not the enjoyer. This is the essence of Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. And all this is possible when I told you already, Shraddhavan Labhate Jnanam. If you don't have Shraddha in our scriptures, again Adi Shankaracharya Viveka Chudamani says, Shastrasya Guruvakyasya Sathya Buddhya Avadharanam. Those who have complete faith, sincere faith in Shastras and Guruvakya. Whatever Guru says is the ultimate. There is no discussion after that. Such a person alone is capable of attaining wisdom. All other people may try and debate and argue and do what they want. They will never attain now complete wisdom. Only a surrendered mind to the Guru's feet. Guru Charanam Bhaja Nirbhara Bhakta. The one who is completely surrendered to the feet of the Guru can attain. So Sri Krishna is the Guru now. Arjuna has surrendered to Sri Krishna. Shishyasteham Shadimam Mam Prapannam Man. You are Shishya. But Krishna says, you are not just my Shishya. Like not just my Bhakta, you are my Sakha. Sakhya Bhakti is there between them. because of which Arjuna is a special recipient of Bhagavad Gita. And this is a secretive knowledge, and Krishna is willing to share because we share secrets with our friends. So Sri Krishna wants to share this secret of what is the truth, how avatars happen, how dharmastapana happens, how the doership and enjoyership can be gotten rid of, how can one lead an ever-free life while acting in the world. He's sharing all these secrets with Arjuna because he is Sakha. Such a beautiful concept, isn't it? Which guru says you are my Sakha? Guru will say you are my Shishya and you behave like a Shishya. Arjuna says you are not only Shishya, you are not only Bhakta, you are my Sakha, and therefore I am sharing all this knowledge with you, Sakhya Bhakti. So this is the beauty of Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. I know you have all done the morning homework and things like that. So this is just the summary and addition. So what is the essence of the Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga? Concept that I am not the doer, I am not the enjoyer. That kartaratva bhava and bhoktrutva bhava should not be there in us. Do everything for the sake of doing, but do not get into doership and enjoyership. Is it easy? Not at all. Is it possible? Yes. So with efforts, it is possible. Okay, you can ask the questions.
Swami, sometimes when we stop thinking about the fruits of our actions, we tend to lose the motivation to act or work. For example, singing bhajans with the intention of making you happy. If we don't think of the results, we lose the motivation to practice. How do we deal with this?
No, results only motivate us in the worldly parlance, that is the truth. If there are no results at the end of it, you will not enjoy the doing or putting efforts also, I understand. Now, what is the desire, of what is the result that you are expecting? Just now in the question it was said, if I want to please Swami by singing bhajan well, and if I do not have that idea that I want to please Swami, I may not sing the bhajan well. My question to you is that what do you mean by pleasing Swami? Who is Swami in the first place and whom are you pleasing? Do you want physical acknowledgements and pat on your back and appreciation on the stage for the good job that you have done? Or is it something that you can feel within and enjoy, saying that I have done my very best today? And I have given my everything, and therefore I am sure Swami is happy with what I have done. Because I feel happy within. Many people ask me, are you happy, Swami, with me? I ask them, are you happy with yourself? If you are happy with yourself, I am happy with you. I am just reflection, reaction and resound. You are happy, that happiness is not yours, that is my happiness reflecting in your heart. Similarly, the happiness in my heart is your happiness that is reflecting in my heart. So ask yourself whether you are happy with your efforts and whatever you have done. Pure happiness, not the ego happiness, not the pride, not the pleasure that you receive out of or enjoy after somebody praising you what you have done is very well. Nobody knows you. You're sitting in the corner of the hostel. Nobody knows you are even singing. Or in a forest where nobody knows that you even exist. Yet you sing with the best of your abilities to please the divine within. You are done. You are actually doing this. So motivation should be like this. See, physical acknowledgement and pat on your back and appreciation on the stage is not possible. How long can I do that, or how long can anybody do that? Kishori Amonkar ji was a great singer. It seems once she went for a concert and she sat down, closed her eyes and told her first sa, sang the sa, just to get to that tune or the note, swaram. And she lost herself in singing of that sa. So much so that she opened her eyes and said, I cannot sing the concert today because I have sung the perfect sa in all my life today. And I am enjoying the bliss of having done it perfectly, and I cannot sing the concert today. And she excused herself because she had found perfection. She had found the divine joy of perfection within herself on that day. This perfection, this joy should be your motivation, not physical acknowledgements. And as long as you want to make Atmaneva Atmana Tushtaha, you are happy within yourself by doing whatever you're doing. If that is your motivation, you will ever be motivated to do good work. Nobody needs to give you medals and certificates. Nobody needs to see or know that you have done this. Even if nobody knows and praises you, you still will continue to doing, because doing becomes your motivation, because you receive an inner joy that is incomparable to any outer acknowledgements. So that is how you should motivate yourself.
Swami, in what way do our gunas serve as guideposts towards following our purpose in life? You often cite the example of wanting good poets and not bad surgeons. Yet, you also emphasize doing the things we may not particularly like or want to do. How do we resist or overcome them?
So guna dharma is the word, not just guna. Guna, tamaguna is also there. We will like to sleep all day. That is not allowed, right? You say, I love to sleep, nice weather, cloudy, no sun, and cold and cozy in Muddenahalli as always it is. You don't want to get up then. But your warden will come and tell you have to get up because this is time for morning prayers or it's time for classes, whichever way. You don't like it at that point of time. Not always we like it. But should we do it or not? Because that is not just about guna, it's about dharma also. So guna may be tamas guna at that point in time, but dharma demands what? Wake up and do your duty. That is the idea of guna dharma. Now some people, what you are elevating this question to that, some people are forced into doing certain education. Like let's say parents want them to do medicine, the boy wants to be a philosopher or a poet or somebody else. That's why I say society is getting bad surgeons and losing good poets. But that is, so then when you grow up in your life, see, you realize what resonates with you within. Like Dr. Ravi Pillai is there. He comes from Singapore every month for 5-6 days just to do orthopedic surgeries over here. And he does it with great excitement. It's not that he's bored. I'm sure he would be doing for like 30 years or something like that. By now, if somebody was not interested in doing surgeries, he would have hung the boots and said, I've made my money, I've made my name, I am not going to do this because I don't enjoy it. I'm sure till the last breath, if he is capable of holding a knife, he will continue to do surgeries because he enjoys it. That is his guna dharma. He was born to be a surgeon. And he somehow figured it out and he's enjoying it. And if I take away that from him, he will not be at peace. Like fish out of water, he'll feel. So whatever you do in your life, does it make you feel like happy every day you look forward to waking up and doing it? If yes, then you know that you are following your guna dharma. A Kshatriya waking up to protect the country, he is enjoying his guna dharma. A Brahmana, seeker of knowledge and teacher of knowledge, enjoys teaching and learning process. He is, as Brahmana guna dharma, he is enjoying it as a teacher. A Vaishya, businessman, he is enjoying making money ethically, not unethically. All that should be dharma. Dharma should not happen. Enjoying making money ethically and being able to distribute resources for the welfare of all, and he's enjoying it every day, however hard he has to work, he doesn't mind. Then he's following his Guru Dharma. Likewise, a laborer who wakes up, who cannot understand scriptures, does not have the intelligence, nor has the ability to run a business, nor can have the ability to fight a war or protect the country or administer a state, but is very happy to wake up every morning, do that gardening and make the garden look, tend to the garden and make it look beautiful. Or make sure that the floor is spick and span clean, like shining like a mirror. Enjoys that. Enjoys that. When he starts enjoying whatever you're doing, you know that you're in a guna dharma. Not liking and still asking, when I tell you, you don't like it, but you have to do it only when your dharma is going to destroy the samaj dharma. See, as a student, if you don't wake up on time, you will set a wrong example for everybody. That's the time when I say, no, you do what is required for everybody to be right. So this is not what your personal likes, dislikes are. This is what society demands. So what is the demand of the society, Samaja Dharma? That time I do not allow you to compromise. I tell you, no, you have to fall into line and you have to follow the rules of the place or do whatever is required to be done in order to set the example for everybody around you. Because you are as a student, you have a student Dharma, which is Samaja Dharma. You also have an individual Vyaktik Dharma as what subjects you want to study. That subject you choose and study, but when you are in a group, when you are in a Samaja, there is a Dharma. And that Dharma has to be followed. Whether you like it or don't like it, that is the way Samaja works. This is the concept of society. So these two are not conflicting, they are complementing. Your individual personal likes or dislikes is to do with your individual Guna Dharma. I want to be a poet or a surgeon or a singer or a doctor, whichever makes you happy doing it, you never get tired. Shrama should not come, effortless it should be. Then it is okay. I work every day. I am never bored. See, Bhagavad Gita I have taught you whole year. Again I am here back teaching Bhagavad Gita. I am not bored. I am looking forward to evening when I will meet you. That is because that is my Guna Dharma. I am enjoying it. However, there could be other things that I may not enjoy it. For example, if some people are not paying attention, some people are not taking notes, some people are not putting effort, I may not like it. At that point in time, I have to tell you, see, you have to do that. Even my equanimity gets disturbed at that point in time. You are the cause of it. You are great spiritual teachers. Always test my equanimity and patience. But sometimes I don't like, I'll say some harsh words to set you right. It is not what I like to do, but I still do it. Why? For the greater good of Loka Sangraham Evapi, for the greater good of all. So what is for the greater good of all? Even if you don't like it, do it. And when it comes to your individual preferences, it should be only those which makes you happy doing it. It may be true that a thief may be happy stealing. That is his happiness. But is it also doing good to the society? No. Then he should shun. So your individual likes should be sacrificed for the greater good of the society. But try to find your way in such a way that it is never a conflict between what you love to do in life and what society needs. If you match it both, that is the best way to lead a life. Everybody will be happy in the process.
Swami, when we think that we are not the doer and that everything is predestined, we tend to become complacent in our work ethics. How can we prevent this?
See, this predestined story I've heard any number of times. This is the escapist philosophy that most people subscribe to when they don't want to do things. They say everything is destined, what to do, everything is written, and God has decided I am supposed to be born lazy, I am supposed to be very easygoing, and things like that. I cannot change. My question is that the same people who are predestined, they are the first, when the bell rings, they are the first to rush to the dining hall for their food. If food is predestined for you, sit in your bed, no, it will come to you and enter your mouth and get into your stomach. No, that time destiny and all is not to be subscribed to. If I don't get up and go, all the dosas will get over. All we'll get is those idlis, cold idlis. So I will run to the dining hall. But for other things, it's predestined. I am not supposed to study. I am not supposed to get great marks. This is all escapist philosophies. A lot of people misuse these philosophies. The question is that how you feel inside, ask yourself. If you are totally surrendered or you are a jnani, predestined thing works for you. But if neither you are jnani nor you are a Sharanagata, predestiny or destiny should not be the philosophy that you should use. It is a very wrong way of thinking. I have argued on this for any number of hours with people, especially foreigners, who go on saying, I bet my wife today, but that was destiny that my wife was supposed to get beaten up. I said, tomorrow your wife beats you up, that also will be your destiny, and don't say that was wife's free will to beat me. No, consider everything as destiny. Live with surrender. That is also okay. But we want to surrender and use the destiny as the clause in certain cases where it favors us, and the other places we try to use, everybody has to do their karma, everybody has to do their dharma. So choose one of the two. Both are right and both are wrong, provided where your standing is. If you are a surrendered devotee or if you are a Jivan Mukta, let it go by destiny. But if you are not yet reached there, if you have not yet understood what is Sharanagati or what is Jivan Mukti, you are just a normal person who is still working his way through the life to attain that wisdom. Go by efforts only. That I have to put efforts, and efforts have to bear positive results for everybody's sake, not for my personal sake. With that you keep purifying, as Shankaracharya said. Karmani chitti shuddhartam. Keep doing that, your mind will become pure. Ekagrartam upasana. Meditate on this concept, meditate on the higher divine, your mind will become steady. Now there is a pure mind and there is a steady mind. Knowledge will happen in such like a lake which is pure and also steady, reflects the entire sky as well as you can see the bottom. So moksha will happen. Brahma Vidya will happen to the one whose mind is steady and pure. For making mind steady and pure, you have to put efforts. See, everybody is not avatar. See, I am saying you are all avatar, but don't take it so literally. You have to put efforts to realize that you are an avatar. You don't know it yet. Once you know it, you are that. Brahmaveda Brahmaiva Bhavati. Till then you are Brahmeva Brahmaiva Bhavati. Don't try to get into that side. Destiny should not be used as an instrument for laziness or escapism. You must work hard till you have developed that surrender or the wisdom to know that you are divine.
Swami, when we see some kind of misbehavior or wrong actions happening in front of us, is it our dharma to speak up against this, or is it merely our ego in thinking that we can correct someone else?
So again, you have to ask yourself, what is the approach? Is it to show off that you know better than the other person, that you are morally principled and you want to preach him from a moral high ground and show him down and ridicule the other person? Or is it for the betterment of that person and the betterment of the society that you want to speak up and correct that thing? What is your approach? What is your attitude behind all your actions? So I always say actions per se are not right or wrong. Intentions behind the actions are to be looked into. If your intention as a teacher is to correct the child for the sake of child's betterment, for the sake of the discipline of the school and the hostel, for the sake of a better society tomorrow with better citizens, nothing wrong in you going and speaking up and correcting it, whether you're a older person or a younger person or person of the same age. You have to speak up. But again, Satyam Vada, Priyam Vada, it says. Speak truth, but speak in a pleasant way. How to correct people also is an art. I tell, when children are not doing good, teachers should not say, you are a useless, you are born like this, you are destined to be. Instead say, I expected you to be much better. I thought you were a better boy or a good girl. This behavior was not something that I expected. I am actually surprised. Then the child starts thinking, oh, the teacher thinks so high of me. Maybe I should improve myself, correct myself. So that way you give positive way of correction. It's not a ridicule and demean or insult somebody. But anytime you see adharma is happening, you have to speak up. See, Bhishma Pitamaha did not speak up when Draupadi was being, insulted. That is why he had to suffer. He says, all the bad blood had to go out for me to get my buddhi back, discrimination back. I sat there watching. In the name of loyalty to the crown, he allowed adharma to happen and he had to suffer the consequences. So whoever you are, young or old or same age, you must speak up. But I said always speak correctly. Satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat, na bruyat, satyam apriyam, it says. Speak truth, speak pleasantly. Do not speak truth in an unpleasant way. Correct people if they need to be corrected. Because if you don't correct, it can lead to a greater societal damage. That is not what we want to be doing. At the same time, the way you correct it should be out of love only, out of pure concern only for the person as well as for the society at large. It should not be out of your ego. Then it is perfectly okay. Go ahead and correct.
Swami, yesterday you emphasized on the importance of satsanga in order to cultivate surrender. For those who may not have access to good company or cannot be physically present here, what is the best practice for protecting their spiritual efforts?
See, satsanga does not mean physical proximity of good people. Thoughts, emotions. And now with modern age technology, you can have satsanga anywhere. See, right now, there are many people from around the world who are watching this live. They are not physically over here. Again, as I said, if you have Shraddha, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. If you have Shraddha to learn something, you will find a way to do it. Even like Ekalavya, without a guru also you will learn. Because you have Shraddha in learning. So those who really want to have satsang, but they cannot have physical satsang because they cannot access it, there are so many ways of doing it. There are scriptures. And now it's available in PDFs. It's not even like you have to go to some Gurukulam in some forest and learn these things. It's available to us on our fingertips. If only you want your will, where there is will, there is way. If you want satsanga, it's in the mind, it's not the body. Otherwise, a lot of people in bodies sit in satsangas, mind is going everywhere. Sri Ramakrishna tells the story of two fellows who decide on a weekend to do what should they do. They want to decide. So one fellow says, I am going to go to the bar and drink and enjoy, like most people in Bangalore. The other fellow says, no, there is satsanga going on in Muddenahalli, let us go there. The person says, no, I am going to enjoy my weekend in the whatever place. So after halfway through the evening, the fellow who is sitting in satsanga in Muddenahalli starts thinking, my friend is enjoying in Bangalore. Like a fool, I have come to Muddenahalli. I should have followed him. And he's always, worried. The other fellow sitting in Bangalore bar, he thinks, what a sinner I am. See, my friend went to Muddenahalli for satsanga. I am wasting my time doing wrong things. So both die and reach Yama, it seems. Then Yama has to, distribute them to the heaven, hell according to their deeds. So the fellow who came to Muddenahalli went to hell. And the who went to Bangalore, he went to heaven, it seems. So both are in conflict. They're asking Yama, what is this? What kind of dharma is this? Nyaya is this? He said, you went to Muddenahalli only in body. Your mind was in Bangalore. So you never attend satsanga. The fellow in Bangalore, body was in Bangalore, but his mind was in Muddenahalli, enjoying and thinking of good things. Therefore, he has attained heaven. So satsanga is in the mind. For that sake, today, all these YouTube videos are there, books are there, scriptures are there, so many talks and so much of material is available. If you really are interested, you can have it. Throughout the COVID, people had satsanga on Zoom calls. That's also a satsanga. So if you are really, really wanting to have it, definitely God will open a way for you to attain that satsanga in some way or the other. If you are very Shraddhavan, God will help those who really are interested.
Swami, when one becomes a Jivan Mukta, will their personal mind continue to function, or will it just be Brahman working through their thoughts, words and deeds?
Suppose there is a Brahma Gyani who knows only Telugu. In which language is he going to speak? Telugu only, right? So Telugu speaking ability comes from Brahman or comes from his mind which has been trained to talk in Telugu? Is the mind. So Brahman will use the mind of the man to make things happen. But for somebody who is trained in Telugu, he can't start speaking French, right? So to that extent, our mind is an instrument of Brahman. But a purified mind alone can attract Brahman's guidance and will. An impure mind which Brahman knows, this fellow is going to distort whatever I am trying to tell. Because he has a huge ego, he will color my teachings and he will distort it. Brahman is not going to inspire any intuition in such a person. So our mind is an instrument, our body is an instrument, our intellect is an instrument, but all that should be offered to the consciousness of Brahma. Indriyani paranyahu, indriyebhya paramanaha, manastu parabuddhi, yo buddhe, paratastu saha, that Bhagavan. We have to offer it all to Bhagavan and say, you use it. Then he will use it accordingly, according to your body, your abilities, your training, your intelligence, your abilities, all these that you have been taught. He will use that accordingly and do it. So mind is used of that person. But it is not deciding what to do. Decision happens at the Brahman level. It's only execution that happens through the mind. That's all is possible for a pure instrument of God. You're done? Good. So the idea of Bhagavad Gita is that knowing that Bhagavan only does everything, we are just nimitta matram. At the end, final analysis, we are only Bhagavan, we are not different. Jivo Brahmaiva naparaha. But till we realize that state, we have to still continue to be karma yogis or bhaktas and perform our duty, discharge our duties with complete selflessness as a surrender and offering to God without craving for results or enjoyership of it. So that is the best way of leading our lives. Whatever you do in your life, do it with this attitude. Attitude matters, intentions matter. They are the reason. Manayava manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo, he says. It's not the physical body that is engaged in action which causes bondage of liberation. It is the mind alone. And that mind has to be trained to become pure without doership and enjoyership and surrender itself as a pure instrument to the divine. Then divine will inspire you from within to do what needs to be done. And when you do that which is divinely inspired, there is no doership, there is no enjoyership. There is no excitement, there is no depression. All is equanimous. A state of peace prevails all the time. And that peace is the proof that you are being an instrument of the divine and not being egoistic doer or desirous enjoyer of the action. So that is Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. As you keep progressing in this path, you will slowly and by your own experience understand these truths better. But at least knowing that this exists itself is a great boon. Many don't even know that such a thing as Atman exists or such a thing as Punarjanma exists. Such a thing as non-doership and non-enjoyership can happen to an individual. Nobody knows that. Avatars happen, nobody. So many people in the world have to be taught this knowledge. So it's your responsibility that once you understand it, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam happens, then you can also spread this knowledge to more people till we take Bhagavad Gita and the scriptural knowledge to everybody, every doorstep of every country. We should not give up our efforts. Continue to teach, continue to learn. That is the Guru Parampara. This is what has kept Bharat what it is today. Without Guru Parampara, without teaching and learning, even Sri Krishna says that it is not possible to spread the knowledge. So it's your job. Today you are Shishyas, tomorrow you will be Gurus. And it's your responsibility to spread this knowledge in the right way. I'm very happy. I want to thank Dr. Gauri Shankar for coming. And this is our way of spreading Sanatana Dharma, seeding the idea of Sanatana Dharma in the next generation. So there are students from the 9th standard onwards all the way till PhD. There are devotees and followers from many countries, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 countries over here. And so many more are watching it live every day. So we have a program in the morning, they do their yoga and meditation and all that. Then they come for a session on Bhagavad Gita. Previously recorded videos are played so they understand it shloka by shloka. Then afternoon they have a discussion, then they have these doubts. Evening they present those doubts to me and then I have to clear those doubts. And that's how we are progressing. It's a 20-day program. So they are all learning and I'm glad that this is happening. Again and again I keep reminding them of the contribution of Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya, without whom this country would not have been what it is today. We all would not have been able to sit under this roof and study these great scriptures unless the great sacrifice and the great efforts, painstaking efforts of Bhagavan Shankara, and after him, the parampara of the Gurus which have kept it up. Bhagavan Shankara's parampara is being followed in the letter and spirit in Sringeri Sharada Peetham. So of all the other places that I have seen and visited and known, I have special regard and special abhimana for Sringeri Sharada Mahasamsthanam because of what they have done 1200 years without breaking the parampara even for a day. They have kept and continued this. May this parampara continue forever till the end of time, till there is sun and moon. Let Sringeri Sharada Mahasamsthanam parampara continue with these prayers to the Jagat Gurus, to Bhagavan. I conclude today's program.